Hello everyone, my name is Janis, and today I want to talk about a theme that I titled Energetic Consequences of Envy and Jealousy plus real life examples. These are two very familiar feelings for many people, and my guess is that large part of you watching have at least once in your life have some kind of experience with these feelings before. And this video is about them, and I want to share my own experience and highlight how important this topic can be and is, not only on energetic level but also on physical level as well. So first things first, how do you spot envy and jealousy? So often feelings of envy and jealousy are connected with people desire to judge others, to dismiss, to deny. And when such thing occurs, it is good to ask at that moment. If it happens to yourself, it's good to ask, what am I compensating in this way? When I want to judge someone, when I want to deny, dismiss him or her, or his work or something else, what am I trying to compensate in this way? And usually the answer is my own low self-worth or envy or jealousy. So this is a quick reminder for starters how to spot envy and jealousy. So energetically speaking, envy equals to taking energy from enviable person's life. That's right. And if you recognize a moment or a situation in your life when you are being envied, or you are the one who envies others, then it's a very nice thing to even energies out. And how to do that? You first start by expressing your intention clearly, that everything that was envied for, every ounce of energy or success or that is not yours. For example, if we take this as a example number one, so in example number one, you are the one who envies the other person. Then in this case, it would be nice to, as I said before, express your intention that everything that you envied the other person gets returned back to him or her. Everything gets returned back, completely filtered out. So you don't receive someone else's energy back together with your own some sort of stuff that is yours. You want to send the energy back clean, filtered out. Example number two, if you recognize that there are a person or maybe even a group of people that envy or you and they want to some sort of get what you have, or want to somehow diminish you, then what you can do is you can ask also. Everybody of us has, of course, their own way, but general good practices that you can ask to yourself inside of you, inside your mind. You can ask your spirit that it helps you to return back your own lost, given away energy that others took away from you, and ask it to return again, fully filtered out, fully clean, your energy, and no other energies, just yours. Yours stays with you, and what is not yours goes away. Simple. So this is evening energies out. And evening energies out, of course, by energy I mean it includes different things, including money, clients, opportunities, invitations, recognition, etc. So many things. And here's another example that I want to share with you right now, and I think it will help to see the energy dynamics of envy and jealousy even better. So imagine that there is an apprentice that has decided to go to some kind of master or spiritual teacher. So this apprentice goes to master, and immediately master feels some sort of rivalry or competition, and inside of him master feels envy and jealousy of his new apprentice, but because he recognizes his powerful potential, and some part of him might feel threatened. What happens in this moment when master feels envy and jealousy is energetically master's some of his parts start to create obstacles for the young apprentice, so the apprentice would not succeed. Also, in this moment, master gets immediately connected to parasitical energies, egregores, egregores that also needs energy to pump from energetic beings, for example, like humans. And master also is moving away from his own true being, his own true life mission that he was supposed to do in this lifetime. He gets further and further away from that, and there is envy and jealousy inside of him. And additionally, if an apprentice has low self-esteem or low self-worth and views this master as something superior, someone superior, then apprentice might even start to birth and carry out his master's ideas, projects, and life vision that is not his own. And apprentice becomes like an energetic battery for projects that comes from someone else. And while he is in this stage of serving as energy battery, he cannot develop his own projects because he doesn't have enough power for that. That is already taken by someone else, in this case by master or through master. And this relationship or this interaction between master and apprentice could be called as, of course, parasitical. There is no other way how to simply put it. So one of the tragedies of envy is that when we focus on potential that is not ours but someone else's, of course we don't focus on ourselves, and that's a waste of time and energy, because in many cases when a person envies someone else and is focusing on someone else's results, life's actions, he might move further away from his own life path and go to the route that is not really his, but go to the route that is the enviable person's. And so the person who envies goes to the wrong route. And paradox, one of the paradoxes is that people tend to envy those who might not even have as much potential as themselves in a specific field. So let that sink in as well. And a question for you. Have you ever heard saying, if he can do it, I can do it too? Nothing wrong with the saying, but I want to pay attention to it and be careful about it. Why? Because in this saying and such thinking and putting a similar goal, you risk of sitting on that other person's energy, that other person who can do it. And then you start to think, oh, if he can, I can definitely do that too. And in this case, it is important to discern whether your intention behind your action comes from envy, dismissal, deny of that other person, or it's really pure inspiration. And it can be pure inspiration, of course, when you see someone and you are very happy about that person, and it's like, wow, to you, wow, he did it. That can show you that it's possible. And then it's different, of course, than when you see someone who has achieved certain results. Maybe there is some sort of bitterness inside of you and you're like, well, if he can, I can definitely do that. Definitely. Like, you see the difference in the energies as well. Okay, and another saying is, if I can do it, you can do it too. And this is similar. With such language, with such thinking, you risk allowing other persons to sit on your own energy. Conversely to the previous example, where when you envy someone else, then you potentially sit on that person's energy. So when you say that if I can do it, then you can definitely do it too, you also gotta be careful about this. Yes, I know that it's polite and you want probably to inspire other people and be nice, and or even sometimes people tend to feel guilty of their successes, and that their success might make other people feel worse about themselves, and you want to please them. So that is also another possibility. But the lesson here would be that comparison between yourself and others can lead to spiritual, energetic, physical traps in life. And comparison is associated with ego. Our inner aspect that I spoke of in a previous Facebook Live broadcast, our inner aspect that is called creative child, or our divine creator inside of us, when pure creation flows through him, through us, this divine creator never, during the creation process, he never compares his own creation with someone else's. He never worries, never doubts whether the creation is good. He never thinks that is it practical, or how much of a value it can give to the world. The creation happens out of pure joy. There is no need for rivalry or compensating anything. And when we meddle into someone else's affairs or processes, we can potentially disrupt their natural path of growth that their soul has chosen to go through. And I must say that in my experience, spiritual teachers does this too, or are guilty of this too. I'm not saying all of them, but part of them are. Why is that? It's a result of course, low self-worth. And that leads to savior's mentality or savior's mindset that needs to save someone. And by saving, they can view themselves as something better versions of themselves, which is a compensation mechanism of ego, of course. So the question for you is, when you go to some sort of spiritual practitioner or teacher or master, would you rather be pleased or helped? Another trap that is related to envy and jealousy is that when we want something that the other person has, whether it's success, experience, recognition, maybe even a relationship or something else, some kind of possession that we really desire, we put forward an energetic request to the universe that we want the same. We want the same type of development that the other person has. We want the same level and probably the same acceleration to be at the same position the other person is. And imagine if that other person has spent a lot more time, has a lot more experience, has gone through a lot more things, and he is at a certain stage or level in his life. And we want the same, even though we have invested or put in a lot less to become in a similar position. And if we desire something that the other person has, we might experience acceleration, and life can start to throw us in circumstances that we might not be ready for yet. Because it's too much for us. And I know that because I have had such lesson or realization in my own experience, and what I had to do was to back down so I can go in my own rhythm, tempo, level of my consciousness, and I can go in alignment with my own natural path of growth, not try to copy someone else's mountains of success. So that's another potential trap. And in the end, one of the most important question is how to overcome envy and jealousy. What to do about it? If these feelings arise within us, in us, what to do? So we have to remember that such feelings arise when we have not realized our own potential fully, when we have not achieved our intentions, our goals, and when we see someone else that has done some good things, has achieved some great things, that of course serves as a painful reminder to our own ego, and we want to diminish that. Not we, but our ego wants to diminish that as a mechanism of compensation. So what to do in such situations? Step 1, start doing things that you have wanted to do before and you have delayed them again, and again. The faster you're gonna start to finally try out the thing that you wanted to do but didn't have, for some reason, strength to initiate it, the faster you're gonna start do it, the faster you're gonna realize that your feelings of envy will start to dissolve, because you finally will step into your own desire. You will take an active stance in your own creative process, and in a process that is aligned with your heart's desires. Hopefully heart's, not your egos. So step 1 is, if you have an unrealized dream and idea, focus on that and start working on that. It will help greatly, because you will start to realize your unrealized potential. Step 2, And this is more for feeling of jealousy. If step one was for feeling of envy, then feeling of jealousy is a little bit different, because jealousy is basically a fear of losing something that you have, some sort of possession, which is also an egoic reaction. But it's like, for example, I would be in a relationship and I would be fearful that I might lose this relationship, that my partner maybe might go to someone else and broke up with me. So that would be jealousy towards, for example, some other men or insecurity. And in this case, if we have certain fears that someone else might take away from something that we possess, well, first of all, it would be nice to disidentify with your possessions. But another thing, of course, in the context of this video, is to focus more on yourself. If you become aware and conscious of a feeling of jealousy, then by focusing on yourself instead of others, the potential threats that might take something from you, by focusing on yourself, try to ask yourself and observe yourself. Why do you feel like this way? Why do you feel jealousy towards others? And address all of the thoughts, all of the feelings, emotions that can come up in this process. And through this, you will identify your internal pattern that is causing all of this, and that is limiting your own well-being. So focusing on yourself is the way how to release yourself from the grip of jealousy, if there is such a thing in your life. Thank you for your attention. I hope that this video was useful to you, and see you in the next ones.